Thank you, Amanda, and thank you everybody for joining me today. Good morning to you out there in library land, and welcome to the December edition of Check It Out. We got a mixed bag of stuff, so we're going to get to it. So, our plan today, what are we going to cover? So, I will cover a couple of storytime standouts that I found. If you're new to Check It Out and you're like, what the heck are storytime standouts? Simply put, Storytime Standouts are the best books to use for story times. So I have two that fit the bill this month. I have one second and third grade book that you can consider. I have one early reader this month. There were a ton of picture books and board books, so I limited down to what I could share within the time frame that we have for the hour. So I do have some picture books and board books. Mostly for children and teen nonfiction. I have a lot of children's nonfiction this month to consider. We'll share some middle grade fiction titles, graphic novels, and a couple mangas, and what I'm reading slash teen fiction, upcoming events, and giveaway. And for those of you that are new to librarianship and library world, and for those of you who are returning, I would love to extend a warm welcome to you. My name is Janeé Jackson-Doering. I'm the Youth Services Consultant with the State Library of Iowa. Down below at the bottom of your screen is my contact information. Please reach out. You can reach out by phone or by email. I would love to hear from you. If you have any youth service related questions, issues, concerns, collection questions, programming questions, reach out because I would love to be a resource for you. Um, and a lot of people that have seen me when I visit their libraries, they know I bring a goodie bag of books for you to keep. So please reach out. I would love to visit your library. I would love to connect with you. And every month during Check It Out, I share a couple pictures of things that have brought me joy through the month of December. So this picture with this gentleman here, this is the author Mark Z. Daniel Lusky. He wrote the book House of Leaves. If you've ever heard of House of Leaves, it's an adult fiction title. It was released, I want to say in the 90s, but it's a really strange and crazy, just odd kind of book. It bends on horror, suspense, fantasy, but it's about this man and woman and their two kids, and they move to this house in Virginia, and it looks small on the outside, but on the inside, they're noticing things are happening. Their kids disappear in the house. The hallway is long and dark, and it's told from several different points of view. And this book that I bought is a remastered full color edition of that book. I had read it long ago and I'm rereading it now. And it's amazing when you reread a book and you miss some things and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot that. So I got to meet the author at the ARL second. And the cool thing about it was he was promoting his second book, or sorry, his newest book, not his second book, his newest book, which is called Tom's Crossing. It's an adult fiction book and it's a ghost story. It's set in Provo, Utah, and it's about these two kids. These two kids learn that these horses, there's a pair of horses that are being sent to be put down. And so the kids decide to kidnap the horses to save their lives. But there's something that happens to the kids and the horses along the way. It's part ghost story, part coming of age. It's a real deep novel. So it's going to be one of those novels where I'm taking my time through it. Um, and at the ARL Ranch, the cool thing about it was since the story focuses on horses, we got to pet actual horses at the Second Chance Ranch. So I got to pet all these really cool horses and meet the author and hear him read his story or part of the story of Tom's Crossing. The picture to your right is of the botanical garden here in Des Moines. Uh, Here in Des Moines, the botanical garden they have called what's called Dome for the Holidays, and they wait till it's dark and they put all these neon lights that light up the dome, and you can walk through the dome at night. And they have fun little things like a scavenger hunt for kids and cocoa. But my friend and I got to go inside, and it's beautiful. And it's a good way to get out of the cold and stay warm. And this picture below um, is a picture that I found on the internet. But to show you, I was wrapping presents, and I've learned how to make the pockets in the front. I see all these cool little packages of people wrapping up their gifts where they can make pockets and they can stick bookmarks and stickers and all those fun things. So I learned how to do that this month, and I bought a wax seal set so that way when I make Christmas cards, I can seal them with a hot wax and a little seal from us. So that these are the things that brought me joy for the month of December. I know this time is very hectic and busy, and I hope you guys during this month find a time where you can find something that brings you a lot of joy among this busy season. And for those of you that are new to check it out, or if you're a veteran and have been coming for years and months, just a quick reminder. This program spotlights a range of different books for readers ages 0 to 18. We look at a lot of review sources and different types of sources to bring you all different kinds of materials. But remember, you know your collection best, you know your community best, and you are always the final decision maker on what new titles work best for your library. So, with that, we're going to jump in to Storytime Standouts. Simply put, this month, these are the best books to use for story time. The first book on my list is called Let's Be Bees. This is written and illustrated by Sean Harris. This is adorable. This got starred reviews in School Library Journal, and it received a Fuse 8 Best Picture Book Read Aloud title for that list. This is an interactive children's picture book, and it's about a father and a child engaging in imaginative play. So the first page says, Let's be bees. Let's be fuzzy, buzzy bees, it starts. And then the father and child say, Let's be birds. And there's that picture of the father and the child as birds, and they're chirping, Let's chirp. Let's be chitty chatty birds. So throughout this story, you see the father and the child pretending to be different things. They're making different animal sounds. They rustle like the trees. And I love this top picture. Let's be snow and silent. I can just picture toddlers and preschoolers kind of standing still when you say, let's be snow and silent until and then there's opportunities where the animals say, let's rumble and roar and roar and roar and roar and roar. And then you turn the page, and I think there's like a moose or whatnot. And the text says, let's roar some more. So there's different types of opportunities for toddlers and kids to make those animal sounds. It's a good way to teach kids what those animal sounds are. And I love this picture of the child that has the earth has the head. It says, let's be the earth. Let's make every sound. Let's make them all at once right now. And I could just see a whole bunch of kids making all different kinds of animal sounds. And at the very end, the dad says, now let's be me and say the end, with the child asking for it to be read again. This again is a fun interactive rhythmic book. I love the crayon illustrations. They're very childlike, they're colorful, they're fun and engaging. This is a storytime winner for toddler or preschool storytime. And if you are stuck and you're like, man, I don't know what to plan for January, I don't know what kind of storytime themes I want to do, we got you covered. No worries. Some January storytime theme ideas to consider. Penguins. Penguins. If you can find some fun penguin stories, it'd be fun to do a penguin story time in January. Or winter clothing. Asking preschoolers and toddlers, what kind of clothing do we wear in the snow? What do we wear? What do we wear on our hands? What or head? What do we wear on our hands? What do we wear on our feet? How do they keep us warm? Opposites. So finding some board books or picture books about opposites and teaching up, down, front, back, hot, cold, open, closed, uh, empty, and full. So finding books about opposites for kids. And of course, nursery rhymes. Nursery rhyme stories are great to share, not just in January, but anytime during the year, because nursery rhymes help us build language. It helps children build language. They hear the sounds of words. When you sing nursery rhymes, they're learning vocabulary, they're learning words, they're hearing how words sound. Do I have some good opposite picture books I can suggest? That's a really good question. Um, I'll have to think on that. Let me think on that a little bit. I'll have to send some picture books to you or some board books to you, or I can do it in the next check it out as well. Thank you for the question, Emily, and I'll dig and grab those for you guys. And since I mentioned nursery rhymes, guess what? This was under my radar, and I heard about this book, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to get my hands on it. This is called, and I kind of have to sing it, EIUFO. Now you think EIEIO, right? But this is called EIUFO. Old MacDonald had a farm. This is written by Zach von Zonk and illustrated by Benjamin Choud. This is funny. This is a hilarious intergalactic twist on the classic song Old MacDonald Had a Farm. So, Old MacDonald has his farm, but the animals are pulled from their farm away in a UFO. Can you say E-I-E-I? Uh-oh. The two spreads on this screen, it says, Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm, he had a spaceship, EIUFO, with a zerp zap here and a zerp zap there. Here a zerp, there a zap, everywhere is zerp zap. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I, whoa! And as you can see, all the animals are being pulled up onto the space, or sorry, the UFO or spaceship, excuse me. And I love this picture of the farmer trying to hold on, but he's he's missing his clothes and he's in his tank top and underwear there. And on the spaceship, he meets Old McMartin. So there's or at Old McMartian, excuse me. And Old McMartian has a lot of farm animals, but they're also kind of space animals. So it's really, really cute. So you see the cow with a munch munch here and a munch munch there, here a munch, there a munch, everywhere a munch munch. Old MacDonald cried out loud, "Not my marshmallows!" You'll see a cat that likes to scritch scratch. Um, and then there's a cow, a pig with where the mud gets in the old McMartian's nose. But this is just laugh out loud funny. It's a nice take on Old MacDonald Had a Farm. Uh, Definitely good for parents who want a different type of picture book to read to their kids at night, especially for educators or librarians. If you're looking for something that's different for a farm theme or just a different take on Old MacDonald Had a Farm, this would fit the bill. And Carolyn's asking, is there a story time kit on opposites? That is a really good question. We do not have a story time kit on opposites, but you know what? That is a great idea. I will see if we can try to get that made. So thank you for the suggestion. So we're going to move now and switch to second and third grade books. And I have one book this month. The second book that I wanted to share, it's not available to me yet. I'm waiting for NetGalley to give me the okay to talk about it. So I have one for you today, and this is called Ling and Ting's Lunar New Year, Two Times Lucky. This is written and illustrated by Grace Lin. and this is going to be released on January 6th. And this received a star review in School Library Journal. And this focuses on Chinese American twin sisters Ling and Ting. Ling and Ting do everything together, and in the Chinese culture, they celebrate the New Year twice. They know that Lunar New Year is coming, but Ting does not like preparing for the Lunar New Year. In Chinese culture, for the Lunar New Year, they have to clean the house and sweep out the old year, sweep out the dust for the old year to leave the house in order for the new year to come in. And Ting is not happy with cleaning the house and sweeping. And so Ting, after she gets done sweeping, she accidentally dumps the dust near the front door. And Ling cries out, Ting, what did you do? And Ting's like, I'm throwing out the dust. And Ling says, you know what? That's bad luck if you throw the dust out in the front. And now we're not going to have a lucky new year because the dust is out in the front. So what are we going to do? And the girls are asking, how are we going to keep having a lucky new year? How are we going to do this? So what they do, they make lion costumes. They also have red banners where they write poems about the new year. They put oranges in the front of their house to welcome the new year, and they hope that the new year will come through the front door. At the beginning of each chapter of this book, because there's 6 chapters, there's jokes in regards to the new year, are super cute. The illustrations are pretty, they're colorful. I love the pictures of the dragons, the girls with the dragon costumes. This is a nice way to learn Lunar New Year for kids who are unfamiliar with the holiday. So definitely pick up Ling and Ting's Lunar New Year 2 times Lucky. All right, we are going to switch gears and we are going to go to early readers. And I have one this month. This is a cute one. This is called Wally Mammoth, the Sled Race. This is written by Corey R. Tabor and illustrated by Dalton Webb. And it's about these characters. We have Wally Mammoth, Otto, and Wolf. Wally Mammoth wants to enter the sled race, and he wants to win the sled race, but he wants all of his friends to win the race as well. Wolf wants to win. Otto wants to win. Wally Mammoth wants to win, but he's not so sure. So all of them with their cocoa, they drink up their cocoa and they get ready to compete. But Wally is just happy as long as everyone gets to have fun as well as win. So when they go down the hill in this sled, the competition goes completely off the wall. And as you can see, they roll into a big, huge snowball. And I love this here. Hey, Wally. Yes, Wolf. If you win, can I hold the trophy? Meanwhile, they're in a snowball and they're asking this. And Wally says, yes. And then Otto says, if you win, can I have a cupcake? Everyone gets cupcakes. So I like the speech bubbles. This is perfect for beginning readers because the speech bubbles are in a clear font and it's very big for kids to read. The illustrations are funny. I like the big snowball, and then at the end, everybody gets cupcakes. Super cute, super fun. Grab Wally Mammoth, the sled race. We're going to move to picture books and board books with our board book roundup. We've got a couple new picture books that are going to be on tap next month. The first one is called A Book of Loves. This is written and illustrated by Cynthia Rylant, and this is going to be released on January 6th. And this is a very, very cute book. This book shares the random items that cats, dogs, and children love. So the first story starts with cats. And so readers see this black cat and all the things the black cat loves. So cats love boxes, food, windows, and you see a window where a black cat is sitting on top of a red chair, looking out the window. Cupboards, where the cat likes to hide. Friends, and lilacs. Dogs, dogs love biscuits, puddles, couches, especially the couch because there's one spread where the dog drifts off to sleep. Dirt, trucks, company, and love. And the last story where it talks about what children love, it says children love bubbles, rabbits, cake, helicopters, and there's a picture of a child pointing to a helicopter. Uh, Dogs, stories, playing catch, collections, and what they mean by collections is there's a spread of a child carrying a pail, and they find a rock or stone on the ground, and love. I'm going to show you some of the other pictures here. Um, but these pictures are very, very beautiful. I love that it's very simple text for kids, so that way they can see the words, they can learn what the words mean. The illustrations are bright, cheerful, eye-catching for kids. So this is something you should consider. Moving right along, we have another new book that is coming out on March 3rd. This is called Loops. I was so happy to get a copy of this, thanks to NetGalley and Simon and Schuster. I just got this copy on yesterday, and I wanted to add this into the slide deck. This is written and illustrated by Jashar Awan, and this is about a cute little guy. This little guy is, as you can see on the front cover, he's pointing at his new shoe. He's looking at his new shoes. He's learning how to tie, and shoe tying can be tough. Let's face it. How many of you have had kiddos at your library that still need help tying their shoes? I'm sure there's quite a bit. In Loops, this young boy receives his first pair of red shoes with laces, and he says, I can't keep losing these shoes. My first one's with laces, big kid shoes. And big kid shoes I need to be a big kid, but these shoes are too big. And so he's got to learn how to tie his shoes right this time. And then he says, hey, you want to see me tie them? And I love the fact that there's a spread where it shows kids and caregivers how to tie their shoes. It's really showing step by step the loops. I love the pastel colors in this book. And at the bottom, it says it's pretty tricky, but I can do it. I really can. Ta-da! And then he realizes he's still learning, and he goes about playing. He's playing in on the slides, he's playing on the swings, but guess what? His shoe pops off again. And so tells himself, you know what? I'm a big kid. I can do this. I can tie my shoes. And so he loses his shoe again, and then he has to find it one more time. And then at the very end, it says, I know where I lost my shoe. It's at the beginning. And then it's at the beginning of the book. And then he has to run back to the front of the book. But I love the message that you are a big kid, you can do this, showing kids that you might slip and fall, you might stumble while you're learning how to tie your shoe, but with practice, you can do it. Very self-affirming, engaging. Loops is a winner. Moving right along, we have our first series alert, and this is the Humble Pie. This is part of the Food Group series of picture books from Jory John and illustrations by Pete Oswald. And the popular Food Group series, uh, this title, it's about the story of the humble pie. It's a character who is modest and supportive, but learns to speak up for himself, especially when his friend Jake the Cake takes advantage of him during a school project. This book teaches the lesson about being humble while still asserting your needs. This is cute. I love the illustrations. Also, the cool thing about this book, and this, if you recognize the author and the illustrator, These are the author and the illustrators for this year's I Read theme, Plant a Seed, Read. Erica says, I love this. It's so hard to find good books about this topic that truly feel written for the kid. Absolutely. The illustrations are funny, engaging. So if you have not had a chance, take a peek at the humble pie. Don't eat Eustace. I had to, that's, that is a hard word to say for me. Eustace. Excuse me, guys. This is written and illustrated by Lian Chow, and this received a starred reviews in Publishers Weekly and Booklist. This is a funny picture book about Bear. Bear lives alone in a lighthouse, and Bear mends their clothes, sweeps the floor, and every day Bear catches their own lunch. Today's lunch is Eustace, Eustace the fish. And Eustace would really like to live. He has a girlfriend, after all, Eustace says. So, readers have to see, will Eustace be released back into the sea, or will he end up in Bear's stock pot? This is a very cute, funny, engaging book. As you can see, the spreads are adorable, and no, uh, the lovely little fish does not end up in Bear's stock pot. Eustace ends up being friends with Bear. Lots of fun, engaging humor in this picture book. I also have a couple of board books this month. If you're not familiar, this is a new series called Teeny Tiendas, The Hardware Store, La Feteria. This is written by Lords Hewer and illustrated by Zara Gonzalez Wong. I love this series because it's bilingual, so it's showing words in English and in Spanish for kids. And it focuses on Miss Sierra's hardware store. And inside Miss Sierra's hardware store, there are lots of tools to choose from. And so the first page to your left, it says, Welcome to Miss Sierra's hardware store. Bienvenido a la fetería de la Señora Sierra. Look at all the tools she sells. Let's see, it says, Mira cuántas herramientas bien vende. She sells, and then it says, ella vende, and then it says all of the things she sells in English and Spanish. I really like the illustrations, especially Miss Sierra. If you can see, Miss Sierra has her purple hair tied up in a ponytail. I love the fact that she has purple hair, and I love the fact that there's so many different people in the story getting materials. And the spread to your right, where it says go for it, grab a tool, it has the picture of the item, the English and the Spanish word underneath. And so all of the people in town are buying tools so that way they can go to the playground and help build a new playground. And at the end of the story, you see the playground being constructed by the town. This is made with watercolor, digital, and color pencils. Very engaging, easy way to learn English and Spanish words. So take a peek. And yes, this is part of a series. Yes, thank you, Emily. This is another new another new board book series that's coming your way. The release date for this is March 10th. This is called The Questionnaires, What's That Color? This is written by Andrea Beatty and David Roberts and illustrated by Aaron Slater. So this is Andrea and David's first ever rhyming board book, and it all explores the dazzling world of colors. And it asks young children, what happens when you mix yellow and blue? What about when you mix blue and red? What happens if you mix all the colors together? So kids have an opportunity to see how colors mix and change. The spread at the top says, Aaron has yellow, Rosie has red. Now it's something new instead. What color is it? And the kids can say orange. And I love how they have the different colors on the sides and then the color that's mixed in the middle in that part to show what the new color is. But it shows the kids working together. I love this. It's just very, very cute, engaging, shows all different types of abilities. So they will be coming out with, if memory serves me right, the authors and illustrators are coming out with board books that also talk about shapes and numbers too. So hopefully look for those coming this spring. But this book, What's That Color, will be coming out March 10th. All right, we are going to move to children and teen nonfiction. And like I said, a lot of the titles this month are going to focus on children's fiction, but take a peek and see. Kingfisher is coming out with a lot of new sports encyclopedias. If you're on Edelweiss, Edelweiss Plus, you have an opportunity to look at review copies, and these two books were on there for review copies. Uh, the first one to your left is called the Baseball Encyclopedia, and then the one to your right is called the Football Encyclopedia. So if you are needing more sports books to update your collections, take a peek at these two titles. They feature the latest types of statistics and facts about different types of players. They do cover players, past players from baseball and football teams, the history of each game of baseball and football, and they also have little short sidebars about different players. So I'll definitely show you right here. So this is what the cover looks like. But just to give you an example, for the baseball encyclopedia, they have images about talks about the infield. They have these short little snippets of info in these little tiny sidebars that kids can take a peek at and read. The bottom spread is about pitching, the types of pitches, and some facts. To your right, for the football encyclopedia, it has football statistics, football 101, how to play, past players, how to play the game, what's needed, equipment, and so forth. Again, if you need books to update your sports section, especially basketball, baseball, uh, football, take a peek at these two titles, the Baseball Encyclopedia and the Football Encyclopedia. There's a copy on Edelweiss Plus. If you sign up for an account, it's free. You can go on there and look at advanced copies. The next book is a poetry book. This is called Words with Wings and Magic Things. This is written by Matthew Burgess. I don't know why I have that capital W on there. I have to fix that. And illustrated by Doug Salati. This received starred reviews in School Library Journal and Kirkus and Book Page. And it was also selected by School Library Journal and Kirkus as their best books of 2025 for both of those lists. This book is fun, it's inviting, and it's a magical book of poetry. And it really transports kids on just transporting them to a different world, exploring everyday moments in their lives. Um, the illustrations on this book are just enchanting. There are die cuts. There's 7 die cuts throughout the book, and the die cuts are like little doors, little portals to these different types of poems. The poems themselves are selected under these categories, and they all start with the letter W. Welcome, wonder, wild, wee. Just wanted to say that, but it is there. Whoops and wallops. These were a couple of my favorite poems that I liked. The one on the right is called Setting Out. Board your little boat and go to where the emerald rivers flow, beyond the place where rowers row, to where the balmy breezes blow, where goodbye, wave goodbye to all the others, mothers, fathers, little brothers. See the sun, the way it hovers, the sky aglow with all the colors. Off you sail, bold, courageous, each adventure more outrageous. Your bravery will be contagious, a tale to tell for all the ages. Just so engaging. There's funny poems. There's just moving poems, and the illustrations really complement each poem that Matthew puts out. Um, And it kind of put me in the mind a little bit of Jack Prelutsky a little bit. So it was kind of reminiscent of that for me, just looking at these poems and reading them. So take a peek at Words and Wings and Magic Things. The next book is all about Antarctica, a fact book about the southernmost continent. This is written and illustrated by Mark Martin. Um, I looked at this and I really love the use of the blues and the watercolor illustrations in this book. Um, and I don't know if there's that much information about Antarctica, but if you have kids that are interested that need that information for a book report, or if they just want to know what Antarctica has, this is a very cool book to offer. Um, it talks about all different kinds of things to do in Antarctica. So there's a picture, a spread at the bottom of Welcome to Antarctica and what how people get there. It talks about icebergs and glaciers. That middle picture shows all the different types of ice and glaciers. What to pack? What do you wear when you go to Antarctica? It really shows kids how people survive and live in Antarctica. It covers fossils, Antarctic explorers, past and present, ice towers, natural wonders, climate change, and even pets, which this was interesting, and I just had to pull this out. It says animals have been brought to the continent by humans for science, for scientific purposes, or to have as pets or working animals. When animals are brought from another place to Antarctica, sometimes these animals pose a risk to the local wildlife and disturbs the ecosystem by bringing germs and diseases. So I did not know that. So it's very interesting to learn about that. These other pictures I wanted to show, um, the picture at the top shows how research is done by researchers and scientists and the different equipment they use. And then the picture at the bottom, because kids ask, well, what do they do when they want to have fun? This is a spread of how people in Antarctica relax and what they do for recreation. Um, there's a concert called Ice Stock. I didn't know there was a concert called Ice Stock where it's an all-day festival where they have an outdoor concert. Who knew? And they have a sauna and spa, and there's different things that they do for relaxation. So this is a very eye-catching book. Um, so get a chance, take a peek. Okay, we're gonna switch gears and move to middle grade fiction. Here we go. The first book is called The Winter of the Dollhouse. This is written by Laura Amy Schlitz, and this received a starred review in Publishers Weekly. And this centers around an 11-year-old named Tiffany. And on a gloomy November, Tiffany saves an old lady from collapsing in the street. And so the lady is grateful to her and she develops a friendship with this woman. And Tiffany kind of needs it because her home life, she's the eldest in her family, and her father and stepmother are constantly tending to the younger siblings and they quarrel a lot. And so Tiffany kind of feels kind of left out. And so the woman says to her, since you saved my life, I'm going to give you this interesting job. So she gets to dog sit for her, which you kind of wondering, okay, why are you dog sitting? And this old lady you don't know, is she a witch? Does she have something hidden? Um, so you kind of wonder what's with this woman. And on top of that, there's this dollhouse where these two dolls, there's Gretel and there's Little Red Riding Hood, and these dolls come to life and they want to be out of the dollhouse. So it's a mix, it's a fantasy mix. So if you are into fantasy, if you like dolls that come to life, this would fit the bill. You could pair this with Pocketbook, or excuse me, Pocket Bear. by Catherine Applegate, which was adorable. Or you can pair it with The Puppets of Spellhorse by Kate DiCamillo, another fun tale with a doll. The next book is called Confessions from the Group Chat. This is written by Jody Meadows, and this received a starred review on Shelf Awareness. And I loved this book because it's all about middle school drama and it feels so realistic. Um, I loved her first book, which was Bye Forever, I guess, and I loved the realistic situations. And this book is no different. This is about 13-year-old Virginia. She has three best friends. She has Jess, Kat, and Mary Heather. And they are eighth graders, and they're known for their popular scroll account and being on social media. And they have a group chat, but the group chat is getting kind of out of hand, especially Virginia's friends find out about her secret, and which is Virginia has a crush on Grayson, the cute boy at school. And of course, the girls begin teasing her. Um, and to make things worse, the alliance that they had, the friendship that they had, it blows up. The three girls kind of all tag team on Virginia, and they call Virginia in return calls Kat out on her mean girl behavior. And so, especially when all the things that have been said in this group chat starts to come to light, and it's putting Virginia in a bad light as well. And so, feeling sad, Virginia is seeking refuge because she attempts to befriend Grayson, but she's also seeking refuge in this person she's been anonymously texting. Excuse me, an anonymous texting friendship with someone only known as Knight Errant, with whom she's connected via a wrong number message. This same plot also happens in Bye Forever, I guess, where the character texts someone by accident and they develop this friendship. The characters feel realistic. I love that Meadows does a great job exploring first loves, the complexities of middle school, bullying. It has that Mean Girls vibe, but not to the extreme of Mean Girls, but just that Mean Girls vibe that middle schoolers face. Um, Frenemies and just online friendships and relationships and how just what the consequences of having social media group chats. The next book is called The Nine Moons of Han Yu and Luli. This received starred reviews in Publishers Weekly, Kirkus, and Booklist. So this is two different characters living in two different timelines. You have Han Yu in 731 Chang and China. Han Yu sells steam buns at the market with his father. And Han Yu is different. Han Yu has the ability to connect with animals, and he loves talking with animals, and it makes other people nervous. And his family is aware of his ability to connect with animals. And his affinity with animals is overshadowed by the accomplishments of his remarkable siblings. His siblings are doing all these amazing trades in academic fields, but that's being overshadowed by Han Yu's ability to connect with animals. So fast forward to 1931, you have Luli Yi. She sells similar foods at her family's restaurant in New York City in Chinatown, and she spends her time indulging in art and engaging with her community. When medical and financial circumstances stemming from each timeline's respective historical events jeopardize their families' livelihoods, Han Yu and Luli must each embark on a journey to secure their loved ones' futures. Han Yu has to trek to reunite with his family, who are quarantined with a mysterious lung disease, while meanwhile Luli seeks to save her parents' business, the family restaurant, from foreclosure following Black Thursday. So this book is told in third person, and it It goes back and forth between Han Yu and Luli. It is filled with maps and illustrations. This is a detailed historical novel with themes of family, courage, determination of the two children, and it's a good representation of Chinese American life. And you get a sense of what it's like to grow up in that culture when they're talking about the author Karina is talking about the food. I just wanted to eat because the descriptions of the food sound amazing. So definitely pick up The Nine Moons of Han Yu and Luli. All right, we are going to move and switch gears to graphic novels and manga. Here we go. The first book is a series alert. We have another series alert on tap. There's a couple series alerts. The first book is called The First Cat in Space and the Baby Pirate's Revenge. This is book 4 in the series, and this is written by Mac Barnett and illustrated by Sean Harris. This was a delight. This is a swashbuckling, zany, fun book at its finest. So there's Captain Babybeard. That's the baby on the front. Captain Babybeard. After Captain Babybeard, the boldest baby pirate on the moon's 23 seas, steals a treasure map from the Moon Queen, the first cat in space, and Laz 400, who's the toenail clipping robot. Babybeard wants gold. He has gold in his sights. So this map that the queen has, this map leads to the mariner's mirror, which would give anyone power. And Babybeard doesn't want power. He just wants gold. However, on Babybeard's ship, there's Pirate James Plantain. Pirate James Plantain wants to use the map and get the power. So Plantain and the crew lead a mutiny and they leave Babybeard marooned on a deserted island. And betrayed by his crew, the little captain seeks an unlikely alliance from the ghost of Honest Jack Spivey. He helps Babybeard get off the island so Babybeard can get his revenge. However, all he has to do is find the Mariner's Mirror and use it against the Queen. This was fun to read, a lot of great energy from the artwork. Um, and by the way, I love how Babybeard throughout this book always wants to sing a sea shanty. It's just funny. The artwork is colorful and it's engaging. And by the way, this book is also available as an audiobook, and I listened to the audiobook. It is so much fun. The audiobook has sound effects and the different characters and music. This was so fun. So grab The First Cat in Space and the Baby Pirate's Revenge. Whoops, I skipped one. The next one is Minecraft the Manga, another series alert, Volume 3. This is written and illustrated by Kazuyoshi Sito. And in this edition, we have our Nico, the character. Nico's our main character, Navy, a creeper, and Gray. Gray's a thief with the body of a zombie. These guys go through different types of challenges. They go through an abandoned mansion during a blizzard. They find dead creepers, snowball fights, and lots of zaniness. If you read this, the book is in black and white. The illustrations inside are black and white. And it is a traditional manga where you start at the back of the book and you read from right to left. Super fun. If you have fans of Minecraft, give them this. They will love another Minecraft story. The next book is called Winging It. This is written and illustrated by Megan Wagner Lloyd and illustrated by Michelle Me Nutter. This received a starred review in Shelf Awareness, and this is about 12-year-old Luna. Luna is multiracial, and her mother passed away when she was a baby. She's named after the Luna moth, and she doesn't really know much about her mother other than what her dad has told her. Luna finds out from her dad that they have to relocate from California to Washington, D.C. for her father's job. And they're going to live with Luna's mother until her father gets established. The only problem, the grandmother has not visited Luna in years, and Luna doesn't know what to expect from her grandmother. And when she gets to the house, her grandmother has a set of rules like, hey, don't put your backpack on the floor. You got to put your backpack here. Or, hey, I need you to do this. And Luna's really feeling uncomfortable. She doesn't know how to really develop a relationship between her and her grandmother. Um, and so Luna goes outside. She meets new friends in the neighborhood. And her grandmother tells Luna that the way her mother really connected to nature was keeping a journal. Her mother always kept a nature journal. And she gives Luna a set of all these nature journals that her mother had. So for Luna, it's a way for her to connect to her mother and ground herself after this long cross country move. Um, I really enjoyed this book because it dealt with growing up, grief, a little bit of family dynamics, of family strife, and how to build a relationship, especially when a grandparent or a caregiver has been out of this child's life. I love the fact that it connected to nature. This would be a great book for the plant a seed read theme as well. And plus, keeping a nature journal, and you see her illustrations of what she sees in nature. So take a peek at Winging It. We also have a new manga series. This is Mecha Ood Mechanical Arms series. It's middle grade manga. These are both written and illustrated by Yoshinko Koyoda. This is about a young man. He gets pulled by this arm. He finds in the first book, he finds an arm, and the arm connects to him. And his name is Hikaru, and Hikaru's like, "What is this?" And so the arm, which is Alma, talks to him, and he has to find out where this arm is coming from and what it does. And he finds out that this arm is part of a group of this society that has to protect it before this other group uh, of individuals are trying to steal it for their own purposes. So Hikaru and Alma team up and they uncover the truth behind Mecha Ood's identity to prevent this mechanical arm from ending up in the wrong hands. So that's the first book. And then the second book continues with the characters as they're trying to find out who this second group is, what they want, and why they want the mechanical arms. Very powerful illustrations, very colorful. It has that a very science fiction-y feel to it. It does start at the back of the book. So it's a traditional manga where you start at the back of the book and you read from right to left. Um, Definitely for that middle grade age, roughly I would say fourth through eighth grade. So grab Mecha Ood Mechanical Arms series. Refugee, the graphic novel. This was amazing. This is written by Alan Gratz and illustrated by Sid Feeney. The graphic novel was very, very powerful. It focuses on the three characters. Joseph. Joseph is a Jewish boy living in 1930s Nazi Germany with the threat of concentration camps looming. Him and his family board a ship bound for the other side of the world. Then it focuses on Isabel, a Cuban girl in 1994. And in Cuba, there's riots and unrest in that country. And so her and her family, they set out on a raft hoping to go to Miami to find safety. And her mother is pregnant on this raft. And then it focuses on Muhammad in 2015. He is a Syrian boy, and his homeland is torn apart with violence and destruction. And so him and his family decide to leave Syria to go to Austria. And all three of these kids faced harrowing journeys to find safety and freedom. The spread on your screen is of Muhammad's story. The artwork is just really powerful. The stories are just gripping. The cool thing about the back about this book is in the back, it has actual facts about the characters in the story, and information about the ship, especially for Joseph on the ship that him and his family traveled to escape Germany. Um, Very gripping, very engaging. And I loved how all the stories tied together. And you'll see what I mean when you pick up Refugee, the graphic novel. The final graphic novel is called The October Girl. This is book one. This is a teen book written and illustrated by Matthew Dow Smith. This is a coming of age story about Autumn Ackerman. Autumn is a teenager. She grew up believing in fairies, magic, and princesses who defeated dragons. But she's now 18 and she works at her local coffee shop and she doesn't know if she wants to go to college yet. She's starting to wonder if this is all there is to life. Um, but her life is turned upside down when she sees her imaginary childhood friend Barnaby one night. And she's like, "What are you doing here?" And she realizes and learns from Barnaby that she is part of a night folk. It's a race of creatures that are inspired and they are just trying to survive. And all she's learning all these things that were just hidden from her, that she's part of this magic fantasy kind of world. It deals with a lot of magical realism, fantasy, and secrets because her mother kept this hidden from her. So I'm really excited to read the second book of this. The second book comes out in May. It was just a very clean read. Uh, there was just no swearing, no cussing or whatnot, but just to see a teen trying to figure out who she is, what her place is, and how she's dealing with this magical power that she has. Because in the first book, there's someone that wants to try to take that power and use it for their own. So check out The October Girl, book one. There are a couple books that are on my radar that I'm excited to get a hold of and read. The first one I just got yesterday from Simon and Schuster. This is called, and these are teen fiction books. Beth is Dead. This is a teen fiction book written by Kami Burnett, and it's released on January 6th. It did receive a star review in Publishers Weekly, and this book is a take on Louisa May Alcott's Little Women. In this version, Jo March is a high school senior, and her siblings, Amy, 15, Meg is a freshman at Harvard, and they are investigating what happened to their sister Beth because on New Year's Day in Massachusetts, shortly after their father abandons the family to focus on writing, Joe and Amy discover Beth's corpse in the snow atop a hill stone's throw away from their friend Lori's house. So they have to find out who killed their sister Beth. So it's kind of a imagining retelling of Little Women. This book in the middle, I can't wait for this. This is called The Escape Game. This is another mystery escape type book written by Marissa Meyer, who wrote the Cinder series, and Tamara Moss. It's about these group of contestants. They're on a reality show where they have to escape an escape room. And in season four, someone died on the show. And so the sister goes on the show on season five to find out who did it. So I'm excited for the escape game. And then the last book is an adult horror book. It's called You Should Have Been Nicer to My Mom. I love this book, written by Vincent Tirado, but it's about a young woman who's of Hispanic heritage. She finds out that her grandfather has died, and he says in his will, there's a demon in the house. You have to get rid of the demon. And all of her family members have secrets. These people are not nice, they are just cruel. And she has to find out who exactly is the demon, what secrets they're hiding, and if she's going to get out of this house. But definitely, those are the books to check out this month. If you are looking for some best books list, School Library Journals, a Fuse 8 production is amazing. They have their 31 days, 31 lists. They have all different types of lists from funny picture books, best read alouds, and so forth. Take a peek at that list. Check out New York Public Library's best books of 2025 for kids and teens. And the Center for the Study of Multicultural Children's Literature just came out with their best books list as well. Don't forget, we have All Our Reads author presentations on Tuesday, January 6th from 10 a.m. to noon. Make sure you register on Workday Learning. You'll get to hear from all three authors, Alan Eskins, T.L. Simpson, and Kate Messner. You get to hear them talk about their books and what resources we'll have coming up from the State Library. Don't forget, we also have summer reading office hours, January 13th and February 16th. These are not for CE credit, but if you need help planning your summer reading programs, I have this 1 hour open forum. It's come and go, but it's a good way to help get ideas and inspiration if you're stuck planning for summer reading. And the registration links are on the State Library Summer Library Program webpage. And PopYS Live, Summer in the Small Library. That webinar will be Tuesday, January 21st from 1 to 2 p.m. And don't forget, make sure you put your first and last name in the chat. We'll give away 4 prize books from us, prize book packs. Congratulations to Molly, Melissa, Annette, Roxanne, and Amy. So that's all I have. I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday season and enjoy, and I will see you guys next month.